Sister Wives Robyn Brown planning new reality show to help with family finances. Hello friends. Welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia and I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The Browns are back in the spotlight and not in the way fans expected. After years of watching Sister Wives unravel, viewers were stunned to learn that Kody Brown has signed on for a completely different kind of reality experience. Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. His appearance instantly sparked new questions. Is this simply another grab for fame? Or could the Browns actually be facing money troubles now that 3 of his wives have walked away? Kody Brown has long held the reputation of being one of the most disliked men on reality TV. Many point to his habit of playing the victim and the way he treated his wives as reasons for the backlash, with only Robyn remaining by his side. Fans were floored when they saw Kody's name announced among the contestants for Special Forces, World's Toughest Test season. The show isn't just another reality gig, it pushes participants through brutal mental and physical trials. Viewers, however, seem more interested in watching whether Kody crumbles under the pressure than in cheering him on. For many, his decision to join the cast raised eyebrows and fueled speculation. Is this about testing his endurance or about shoring up dwindling finances? As soon as Kody's participation was revealed, attention shifted to Robyn. Fans began to wonder if she, too, might step into reality television outside of Sister Wives. The speculation was brutal at times. Online chatter included remarks like, "Seems like the grifter twosome Kody and Robyn are needing new sources of revenue." Now that the OG3 left, others joked that Robyn might soon end up on Pawn Stars, hawking family possessions for quick cash. Some fans even imagined her on a competition show like The Traitors, poking fun at what they see as her dramatic, tearful tendencies. She would do the fake cry at breakfast when the people she killed wouldn't turn up. And then all day during the game talks she'd be like, "I dunno. I'm just so confused. I dunno what happened," but not everyone buys into the idea. After all, Kody once promised Robyn she'd never have to work. Critics call her lazy and compare her personality to a doorknob. But whether she'd actually say yes to another project remains a big question mark. With 3 wives gone, Kody and Robyn have lost not only emotional support but also, potentially, financial stability. For years, the family operated as a large unit. More adults meant more income and more financial juggling. Now, with just 2 left, the money flow could be tighter than ever. Kody's leap into Special Forces could simply be a shot at reinvention. Or, as fans increasingly suspect, it may be a sign that the Browns are scrambling to secure new income streams. If Robyn does eventually appear on another show, it would only confirm what many already believe. Reality TV is no longer just their claim to fame, it's their lifeline. Kody Brown faces a bittersweet goodbye on Sister Wives. Season 20 of TLC's Sister Wives sees new changes for the Brown family. Kody and Robyn Brown question whether plural marriage still has a place in their lives, while Meri Brown opens herself up to dating again. Janelle Brown looks forward to a spiritual divorce from Kody, and David Woolley faces an unexpected twist when her husband is seen spending time with Kody. Viewers also see the Brown family's children back on their screens, with Christine's daughter Kody Padron and her husband making a huge change that leaves her mom in tears. On the October 5th episode of Sister Wives Season 20, David Woolley faces a major life change as her daughter, Kody, with whom she shares with Kody Brown, prepares to move her family from Utah to North Carolina. In a clip from People, Christine and Kody are seen discussing the move, with Kody sharing in a confessional that bringing it up makes her mother extremely emotional. "Every time I talk about moving to my mom, I break her heart just a little bit more. She's really sad. She's really heartbroken," she shares. Christine is seen getting choked up as she prepares to help her daughter, her husband, Kody Padron, and their 3 children drive to North Carolina. "It's really hard," she tearfully tells the camera. For Kody, the move means being closer to her sister, Maddie Brown, referring to the daughter of Christine's former sister wife, Janelle Brown, who lives in North Carolina with her husband and kids, giving her own children the chance to grow up alongside their cousins. Interestingly, Kody points out that if she and Tony lived a polygamous life as her mother did, she wouldn't need to move, knowing there would already be plenty of children and family around to keep her kids company. For Tony, being polygamous is an absolute no. There is another big reason why Kody and Tony decided that moving to North Carolina would benefit them and their family. Tony makes a good living playing and teaching chess, as he shared. "For me, it's the chess capital of the U.S. As People noted, Charlotte, North Carolina, is known as a chess hub, hosting tournaments and programs for teaching kids. A perfect match for Tony's passion. I'm someone who works in chess, makes content, and teaches and coaches, Tony said in a confessional. For me, moving out there is so exciting because that's like the hub. The scene, unfortunately, ends with Mykelti not able to see her dad, Kody, before the big move. For Christine, this has put an even bigger strain on her daughter's relationship with him. Her relationship with them is just not what Mykelti hoped it would be, she shares, however. In the Sister Wives Season 20 trailer, viewers see Kody attempting to seek forgiveness from his former wives. Will fans see the same thing with the complicated relationships he has with some of his children? Kody Brown has long been the face of modern polygamy, a man who once proudly balanced 4 wives, a sprawling family of 18 children, and the chaotic beauty of plural love under one roof. But as Sister Wives enters Season 20, that image is unraveling fast. Fans have begun to notice something startling. Kody Brown is contradicting himself, sometimes within the same episode, when it comes to his stance on polygamy. For years, Kody's life motto was built around one principle: plural marriage is sacred, divine, and essential to his faith. It's what defined him as a husband, father, and spiritual leader. But now, in his post-divorce era, Kody sounds like a man at war with his own beliefs. He's questioning the very lifestyle he once defended to the world. And fans can't stop talking about it. From preacher of plural marriage to its harshest critic in early seasons of Sister Wives, Kody often described polygamy as a calling, something God wanted him to live, even when it was hard. He painted plural marriage as a higher form of love, one that demanded patience, humility, and faith. Viewers watched as he proudly introduced his family to the world, standing with Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn as if they were living proof that polygamy could work in modern America. But by Season 20, the same man who once preached the glory of plural marriage is now calling it a broken system. In a recent confessional, Kody bluntly said, "Greater than polygamy isn't fair. It's never been fair. It's a setup for heartbreak." That single statement sent shockwaves through the fan base, because it wasn't coming from a critic or a former wife, but from the very man who once led the charge. A public collapse of faith when Christine left Kody in 2021. The cracks in the family's spiritual foundation started showing. Soon after, Janelle followed, and Mary officially confirmed her separation a year later. Now, only Robyn remains legally married to Kody, and even she admits that the man she once admired as a spiritual leader has changed dramatically. During a 10 Season 20 preview, Robyn tearfully confessed he doesn't even talk about faith anymore. He used to pray with us every night. Now he just talks about being done with everything. It's a haunting contrast to the man fans first met, a husband who would insist on family unity, nightly prayers, and faith-based discussions about celestial marriage. The same Kody who once said he would never give up on plural marriage now seems to have abandoned the belief entirely. Double standards and contradictions. What's driving fans crazy is not just that Kody changed his mind, it's how he's doing it. In one episode, he claims that polygamy doesn't work because women get jealous, yet in another, he insists that his marriages failed because his wives didn't follow the rules of plural marriage. It's a classic contradiction. Kody blames polygamy itself one moment, then blames his ex-wives the next. He claims he's a monogamous man now, but he still talks about adding another wife if the right woman came along. He calls the lifestyle too painful, yet admits he misses the sense of spiritual power that came from having multiple wives. Fans on Reddit and TikTok have labeled this behavior Kody logic, a term that sums up the contradictions perfectly. One viewer wrote, "Greater than Kody says polygamy is toxic, but also says his exes weren't spiritual enough. So which is it? Either the system failed or he did." Robyn's silent frustration. Ben Kody's shifting belief stands Janelle Brown, the last remaining wife and arguably the most loyal. But even she seems exhausted by the contradictions. In one scene, Robyn tearfully says, "Greater than I believed in this. I still believe in plural marriage. But how do you stay committed to something when your husband doesn't believe in it anymore?" Her tone isn't angry, it's defeated. Robyn built her life around the principle of eternal family, only to find herself married to a man who no longer shares that conviction. For years, fans accused Robyn of ruining the Brown family. But Season 20 paints a very different picture. She looks like a woman trying to hold on to the last thread of faith in a system her husband has all but renounced. Kody's emotional breakdown on camera. The emotional weight of these contradictions comes to a breaking point midway through the season. In one raw, unfiltered moment, Kody admits, "I told myself I was living God's plan, but maybe I was just trying to control everything." It's perhaps the most self-aware confession fans have ever heard from him. For the first time, Kody acknowledges what critics have been saying for years, that his version of polygamy was less about shared love and more about authority still. Even as he admits fault, Kody can't help contradicting himself again. Moments later, he insists that God called him to plural marriage for a reason. The result is emotional whiplash. Fans aren't sure whether they're watching a man finding enlightenment or spiraling deeper into confusion. A family watching in shock. Christine, Janelle, and Mary have all made their own peace with leaving polygamy behind. But watching Kody's evolving statements has been painful for them. In her private interview, Janelle says, greater than he used to preach that we were all equals. Now he talks about how polygamy broke him. Maybe it didn't break him, maybe he just couldn't handle what he created. Christine takes it even further, saying, greater than I think he regrets everything not because of faith, but because he lost control. That's what this is really about. Their words reveal a deeper truth. That Kody's contradictions may not just stem from spiritual confusion, but from ego, pride, and loss. TLC's promotional teaser for the season 20 tell-all sent Sister Wives fans into a frenzy. Host Sukanya Krishnan, known for her sharp, no-nonsense tone, is seen asking Kody point-blank, do you still believe in polygamy, or was it all a mistake? Kody pauses for what feels like a full minute before answering, I believed in it once. I don't know if I do anymore. That sentence, simple yet devastating, rippled across social media. Fans flooded comment sections with disbelief. How could the man who built his identity around plural marriage suddenly call his own belief into question? One fan wrote, Kody spent 15 years telling his wives they weren't faithful enough to plural marriage. Now he's the one quitting. Unbelievable. Another added, he's rewriting history to make himself the victim again, and just like that, the tell-all became a battlefield not just between Kody and his ex-wives, but between Kody and the very image he spent decades creating. Sukanya pushes back and Kody crumbles in one of the most powerful moments of the tell-all. Sukanya refuses to let Kody dodge responsibility. When he tries to claim that the wives gave up on the family, she interrupts, or maybe they gave up on a system that was breaking them. Kody's face tightens. His hands shake as he insists, no, they stopped being loyal. They started rejecting our faith. But Sukanya doesn't flinch. She calmly replies, you're rejecting it now. The silence that follows is haunting. For the first time, Kody doesn't have a comeback. The self-proclaimed patriarch of plural marriage is suddenly speechless, cornered by the truth that everyone else already sees. The hypocrisy fans can't ignore. Throughout season 20, Kody claims that polygamy doesn't work anymore, but his actions tell a different story. He still refers to himself as the head of the family, even though most of his wives have left. He lectures others on commitment, yet refuses to take accountability for his own failures. During one scene, he tells Sukanya, greater than I didn't fail at polygamy. My family failed me. Fans immediately saw this as another contradiction and a deflection of blame. Social media erupted with reactions. He's contradicting himself every 5 minutes. Kody is allergic to self-awareness. It's the same pattern that's followed him for years. When things go right, he takes the credit. When they go wrong, he blames the wives or the faith itself. Behind the cameras, production insiders told tabloid outlets that Robyn had a full emotional breakdown during filming. She allegedly stormed out of one confessional after Kody told producers he was done defending polygamy. According to one insider, greater than Robyn felt betrayed. She built her entire marriage on the principle of eternal family. And now Kody's dismissing it like it was nothing. She said, this isn't the man I married. Fans who once called Robyn the villain of the family are now seeing her differently. Not as the mastermind of the family's collapse, but as its final casualty. When Sukanya sits down with Janelle, her tone is noticeably calm. She's not angry, she's done. Greater than I used to believe Kody was a man of faith, Janelle says softly. Now I think he was just a man who liked control. When he says polygamy doesn't work, I think what he means is, he doesn't work in polygamy. Her words slice deeper than any shouting match ever could. Janelle, who always prided herself on rationality, exposes the core contradiction of Kody's new narrative. He didn't just lose faith in polygamy. He lost faith in himself. Christine's brutal honesty. Christine, now happily married to David Woolley, doesn't hold back. In her tell-all segment, she smirks when Sukanya asks what she thinks of Kody's latest comments. He's rewriting the past, Christine says. He wants to sound wise, but it's all damage control. He told me once that God would punish me for leaving plural marriage. Now he's saying it's broken, so does that mean God was wrong, or Kody was? The audience gasps, and even Sukanya lets out a half laugh. Christine's words are bold, but they capture what millions of fans are thinking. Kody's spiritual contradictions aren't enlightenment, they're self-preservation. Perhaps the most unexpected voice of clarity comes from Mary Brown. once the most loyal and heartbroken of Kody's wives. Meri now speaks with unshakable composure. "I waited for years for him to come back to our marriage," she says. "He told me God wanted us to stay plural. Then one day he said, 'God released me from you.' That's when I realized." His God changes depending on his mood. Her words land like thunder. Meri's story perfectly embodies Kody's contradiction, a man who used religion to justify every decision until it stopped serving his desires. The church responds. Even members of Kody's old faith community have taken notice. A source close to the Apostolic United Brethren, the polygamist sect the Browns were once loosely associated with, reportedly said, "Greater than Kody's lost his foundation. You can't preach celestial marriage one decade and denounce it the next. That's not spiritual growth, that's confusion." While the Browns no longer identify officially with the church, Kody's public reversal has drawn criticism from believers who once saw him as a spokesperson for their lifestyle. The fans turn the tables. Now, Sister Wives fans have become a kind of collective jury. Thousands of comments flood every TLC post, dissecting Kody's every word. Some viewers call him hypocritical, others simply heartbroken, but the consensus is clear. Kody Brown has become the architect of his own downfall. One viral TikTok stitched together Kody's old and new statements side by side. "From polygamy is God's will to polygamy is a nightmare," the caption read. Kody Brown, 15 seasons of contradiction. It racked up over 2 million views within days. In later season 20 episodes, Robyn begins to quietly question Kody's leadership. She admits in a private interview, "Greater than if Kody doesn't believe in plural marriage, then what do we even have? I didn't sign up for this version of him." Her words signal a dangerous shift. The once unbreakable soulmates are now living to different realities. Robyn still clings to the dream of celestial family unity, while Kody seems ready to rewrite the entire doctrine to fit his current feelings. Kody's rebranding, a man of reflection as fan backlash intensifies. Kody tries to take control of the narrative. In a surprise move, he records a self-filmed monologue, a dramatic, candlelit confession he uploads to TLC's YouTube channel titled "A Man of Reflection." In it, he claims, "I didn't contradict myself. I evolved. I'm seeing polygamy through clearer eyes now," but the speech backfires. Instead of appearing enlightened, Kody comes across as defensive and self-absorbed. Fans flood the comments with responses like, "Greater than evolution isn't contradiction? Tell that to your ex-wives." He's reflecting in circles. What was meant to be a redemption moment only deepens the sense that Kody is lost, spiritually, emotionally, and publicly. The final tell-all blowing the closing minutes of the tell-all finale. Sukanya asks one last question, "Greater than if you could go back, would you still choose polygamy?" Kody exhales, his voice trembling. "Greater than no," he whispers. "It cost me everything." Robyn bursts into tears. The studio falls silent. The man who once called polygamy his eternal calling has finally renounced it on national television. For fans, it's a historic moment. For Robyn, it's heartbreak. For Kody, it's the final undoing of everything he once claimed to stand for. The legacy of contradiction as Sister Wives closes another turbulent season. One truth stands out above all. Kody Brown's contradictions are now his legacy. He once said plural marriage was his destiny, now he calls it a curse. He once claimed his faith would hold his family together, now it's what drove them apart. He once insisted he was the spiritual leader, now he's a man searching for meaning in the wreckage of his own design. Whether you see him as a fallen prophet or a broken man, Kody Brown's story has become a cautionary tale about ego, faith, and the dangerous blur between belief and control. And as the credits roll on Sister Wives season 20, one haunting question remains: did Kody Brown ever truly believe in polygamy? Or did he just believe in himself? Madison "Maddie" Brush, the second oldest daughter of Kody and Janelle Brown, has always been known for her calm, practical nature, a trait she likely inherited from her mother. But in a recent Sister Wives season 20 episode, fans witnessed a side of Maddie they had never seen before: raw pain, deep emotion, and heartbreaking honesty as she finally confronted her father, Kody Brown, about years of neglect and emotional distance. Tears streamed down Maddie's face as she told producers that she didn't recognize her dad anymore. "He's not the dad I grew up with," she said quietly. "It's like he disappeared and now he's just gone." The moment immediately became one of the most talked about scenes of the season, a daughter finally speaking the truth about a fractured family dynamic that's been building for over a decade. Back in the early seasons of Sister Wives, Kody and Maddie shared a warm, affectionate relationship. Maddie, then a teenager, was one of the few kids who openly defended her father's polygamous beliefs. She called him funny, strict, but always there. Fans remember their playful banter and the way Kody seemed to genuinely enjoy being around his kids. He often called Maddie my little boss because of her outspoken, organized nature. But as Kody's marriages crumbled and his relationship with his ex-wives became strained, his bond with many of his older children began to unravel, including Maddie's. Over the past few years, Kody has become increasingly isolated from several of his children, particularly those from Janelle and Christine's households. Maddie, who now lives in North Carolina with her husband Caleb Brush and their 3 children, revealed that contact with her father has been sporadic at best. In a heartbreaking confessional, Maddie explained, "Greater than he didn't call when my last baby was born. He didn't even text. And that's when I realized, I can't keep pretending everything's fine." Her words cut deep for fans who have watched the once close Brown family dissolve. Before their eyes, Janelle, always the voice of quiet strength, broke down when producers asked about Maddie's feelings. "Maddie's always tried to stay neutral," Janelle said through tears. "But when your child realizes their father's not showing up for them, that's a pain no mother can fix." For years, Janelle tried to bridge the gap between her children and Kody, but after Garrison's tragic death, the emotional distance between father and kids only grew wider. Maddie's confrontation feels like a delayed eruption, all the years of silence finally breaking into words. The confrontation between Kody and Maddie took place during a family meeting filmed at Janelle's rental home. Cameras captured every tear, every awkward silence, every strained breath. Maddie, trembling but determined, faced her father across the living room. "Greater than Dad, you've been preaching about family your whole life," she said. "But when we needed you, where were you? Where were you when Garrison called you and you ignored him? Where were you when Mom was crying alone?" Kody sat quietly for several seconds before finally muttering, "Greater than I didn't know how to fix it. Everyone turned against me." Maddie shook her head. "Greater than we didn't turn against you. You walked away." It was one of the most powerful moments in Sister Wives history, a daughter holding her father accountable in front of millions of viewers. Instead of owning up to his failures, Kody seemed defensive. He told Maddie that he felt persecuted by his older kids and that he didn't reach out because he didn't want more rejection. Fans saw it as another classic Kody contradiction, blaming others for the distance he created. "Greater than he says he's the victim, but Maddie's the one who lost her dad," one viewer wrote on Reddit. Even Robyn, watching from the sidelines, looked uncomfortable. Her expression said what everyone else was thinking. Kody's excuses were no longer enough. When Kody tried to defend himself by saying, "I've done my best," Maddie snapped, "Greater than no. Dad, you've done your best for Robyn and her kids. Not for us." The room fell silent. Kody's eyes filled with tears, but Maddie wasn't finished. "I grew up believing in family unity. You taught me that. But now I see it was only true when it worked for you. The rest of us, we were optional." Viewers flooded social media with emotional reactions, many calling it the most honest scene in Sister Wives history. Maddie's pain mirrored what so many of Kody's children have felt, the sense of abandonment by a father who once preached love and unity. After the confrontation, Kody reportedly left the house without saying goodbye. Maddie was seen hugging her mother tightly, whispering, "Greater than I'm done chasing him." In her confessional, Maddie explained that the confrontation wasn't about anger, it was about closure. "I needed to say it out loud," she said, "because if I keep waiting for him to change, I'll keep getting hurt." Fans praised Maddie's courage, calling her the voice of the next generation of Brown kids. Later in the episode, Robyn shared her thoughts on Maddie's confrontation. "It breaks my heart," she said softly, "because I know Kody loves his kids. But I also know he doesn't know how to show it anymore." Her words drew mixed reactions from viewers. Some felt sympathy for Robyn's position, while others accused her of making excuses for Kody's neglect. Either way, Robyn's sadness highlighted what's become undeniable: the emotional collapse of the once grand Brown family after the camera stopped rolling. Janelle reportedly told producers off-screen that she wasn't sure Kody would ever come back from this. "Greater than Maddie's not the kind of person who says things just to hurt," Janelle said. "She says things when she's done waiting. And she's done." It's a chilling reminder that the family's fractures may be permanent, not just between ex-wives and husband, but between father and children. Online, fans erupted in support of Maddie. Thousands of comments on Twitter and Reddit praised her for speaking the truth. "Greater than Maddie said everything we've wanted to scream at Kody for years. This isn't disrespect, it's reality." Even longtime viewers who once defended Kody admitted that the confrontation was painful to watch. It showed how far he's drifted from the family he once called the Brown Kingdom. In later episodes, Kody admits he hasn't spoken to Maddie since the confrontation. He tells producers he feels betrayed and humiliated, greater than she doesn't understand what I went through. He says, I've been attacked from every direction, but fans weren't buying it. Kody's self-pity seemed to only reinforce Maddie's point that he's more focused on his own hurt than the pain he caused others. Christine, who was close to Maddie when she lived in Flagstaff, praised her for her bravery, greater than Maddie's not afraid to speak truth. Christine said, she's her mother's daughter, strong, grounded, and real. Kody needed to hear it. Her support added another layer of solidarity among the ex-wives, many of whom have long believed that Kody's relationship with his children is collapsing beyond repair. Many fans believe Maddie's confrontation was also tied to grief. Garrison Brown's death left a permanent scar on the entire family. Maddie, who had been close to her brother, reportedly felt anger toward Kody for being emotionally absent during Garrison's struggles. In one heartbreaking line, Maddie whispered, greater than if he had been more present. Maybe Garrison would have felt less alone. That single sentence encapsulated the guilt and sorrow hanging over the Brown family this season. During the season 20 tell-all special, Sukanya Krishnan directly asked Kody about Maddie's accusations. He sighed heavily and said, I love my daughter, but I can't be everywhere for everyone. Sukanya pressed further, asking, did you reach out to her after that confrontation? Kody looked down and quietly replied, greater than no. The audience audibly gasped. It was the moment fans realized that despite all the talk about family, Kody had chosen silence once again. Since the episode aired, Maddie has focused on her family, her faith, and mental health. She frequently posts uplifting messages on Instagram about motherhood, healing, and boundaries. In one recent post, she wrote, greater than forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It means peace. Fans interpreted this as a subtle message to her father, a declaration that she has chosen peace over pain. Janelle, who remains incredibly close to her kids, has used the experience as a lesson in emotional honesty. We can't fix what we don't face, she said in an interview. And my kids are facing it. Her quiet wisdom contrasts sharply with Kody's defensiveness, reminding viewers why so many fans consider Janelle the emotional heart of the family. In a later TLC digital exclusive, Kody finally addressed the confrontation. He said, greater than I regret the distance with Maddie. I just don't know how to come back, but fans were unconvinced. The man once known for his boldness now sounds uncertain, even defeated. Kody's inability to mend these relationships may be the most tragic part of Sister Wives yet. In the finale, Robyn makes one last emotional plea for the family to come together, greater than I just want peace. She says tearfully, I want Kody to talk to his kids again. I want us to be a family, whatever that means now, but her words feel too late. The damage has been done, and Maddie's confrontation marks a turning point. A new generation of Browns refusing to live in denial. As the credits roll, viewers are left with an unforgettable image, Maddie holding her mother's hand, tears in her eyes but strength in her heart. Her confrontation wasn't about revenge or bitterness. It was about truth, healing, and finally releasing years of silence. In that single moment, Maddie did what few in the Brown family have ever done. She looked her father in the eye and said, you heard us, but we're still standing, and that, perhaps, is the truest.